To this now, the fourth season of the Basketball Africa League tips off later on today with the inaugural Kalahari Conference at the Sunbet Arena in the capital city, Pretoria. Now, the Kalahari Conference, which will see the BAL played in South Africa for the very first time, has added to the Nile as well as the Sahara Conferences, ensuring that all 12 participating teams will be split across all three zones. The Cape Town Tigers will open their league campaign against Burundian side Dynamo BBC at 7 p.m. tonight. Let's chat now to Vincent Ntunja, who is the assistant coach of the Cape Town Tigers this morning, to help us look ahead to their match against the Burundian outfit. Vincent, I do appreciate your time this morning on the Weekend Report, more especially because it's hardly that we get to talk to a coach or a player on match day. But good morning and thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about how things are in camp at the moment. How's the mood like? How are the players doing? I'm hoping you can confirm that there is a clean bill of health in the team.
Good morning, Rachel. Once again, thank you for the opportunity and greetings to all the South African viewers and anyone watching all over the world. Well, I can safely say the mood in the camp right now is one that's relaxed, guys who are focused, understanding the mission forward, because as you may be aware perhaps that we are making history in hosting the first of the Basketball Africa League games in the Kalahari Conference, and we are determined as well to ensure that South Africa see the best of basketball that we can provide. And having been in the quarterfinals of the competition, we're looking forward to the start of the games.
Yeah, you speak about that history, South Africa hosting the Basketball Africa League for the very first time since the inaugural edition of this league, Vincent. And I was looking at the social medias of the BAL last night, and they confirmed that it is a sold-out affair later on tonight, the opening matches of the Kalahari Conference being sold out later on tonight. Talk to me about what that means for the Cape Town Tigers to play in front of the home fans, but more especially playing in front of a sold-out crowd.
Well, it has always been the dream and the goal of the Cape Town Tigers entirely to ensure that basketball is known throughout South Africa. Remember, we've traveled to Egypt, we've traveled to Rwanda, we've traveled to New York, in so many spaces where we represented the South African flag. And one of our mission and goals was also to bring the games down here in South Africa. And now seeing it that they've already came to South Africa and we achieved our mission in that, now we involve schools, universities, and the entire basketball community to come watch and witness the game live, because remember, when we travel we only have about 1 or 2 people watching in the grandstands, and now that it's coming home and we're seeing a sold out crowd, I mean, and once again, it's a history in the making, and I'm proud to be part of that because it has been always part of the goal for the team.
Let's just look at the history of the team in the Basketball Africa League, Vincent, maybe having made your debut back in 2022. And it was, a season where I'd say the Cape Town Tigers exceeded the expectations. Debut season, but still qualifying for the quarterfinals of that tournament. And last year, we saw a similar result in terms of qualifying for the quarterfinals and ousted at that stage of the tournament. I wonder, though, what the objectives are for 2024.
Well, always we want to take it a notch higher, but we don't take it for granted that each team prepares, like they want it as well. I mean, remember we're in the group with Petro de Luanda, who were finalists in the previous seasons. We're playing against Fas of Morocco. Those guys are bringing their national team players, and also tonight we have a big game against the Burundians, and we've been told as well that they only have one court in the entire country. So everyone has their own source of motivation, and for us as well, having to play in front of our home crowd should already motivate the players. And us as a coaching staff, we continuously remind the guys that, we're not doing this just for us. It's for the badge that we represent. It's for the flag that we will be flying high in the Sunbet Arena. So all of those dynamics play a role, and we want to take it a notch higher this season. But we understand that the mission will not be easy, but nonetheless, we have assembled soldiers who know that they have to die for anything that has to come, 50-50 balls, anything that have to, to ensure that we overpower them in terms of strength, because we know that dynamic team that they come and they are relentless, in their approach. But our preparation has gone far, so good so far. And we watched the previous games because remember we played the same team in the Elite 16 where we became Southern African champions, and we're not taking them for granted. We understand what they will bring, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Have you guys made any new signings for the season?
Well, we do have the return of the prominent and talented Billy Preston, who had just joined us again for the second time in our roster. And we have the under 18 player, the 7-foot-tall guy who was given by the BAL as one of the exchange programs. He's showing so much prowess as a 17-year-old. And we've included, we have a boy coming, Curtis, coming all the way from the U.S., who will be also part of the team. So, and we have the return of Cartier, our point guard, who scored the winning basket when we played in the Elite 16. So we understand once again the dynamics of having the tough competition that's ahead of us. But I believe that we've also assembled a good foreign players coming from overseas, and also our local talent as well. I mean, they will be playing in front of their families for the first time, in front of their friends for the first time. So that already on its own should be a higher and a bigger motivation to understand that we have a big task ahead of us, but nonetheless it's the one that we should be ready and excited about.
All right, Vincent, as I let you go, just a final question from my side. How do you think the Basketball Africa League has sort of elevated the profile of the team? And so in answering that question, maybe just to explain to us how the league itself has improved basketball, has impacted the sport of basketball in the country. Very briefly, thanks.
Very good question, Rachel. Funny enough, I was having a conversation last night with someone that, this said, having, myself having been part of the Timberwolves, the travel to NBA last year, when I compared this and what is Basketball Africa League is doing, I literally said, this is literally the NBA standards. It's professional. It's the administration is on point. The timing is on point. Everything that the media set up, everything is literally on point. And I mean, as someone who's been an advocate for basketball for so many years in the country, I feel that we've reached a milestone. It's just a matter now of our federation to follow up and ensure that we maintain this standard, to ensure that our professional league is fully functional, so that we can have a chance to produce more youngsters, guys who will have an option not to choose, to choose away from soccer, your cricket or your rugby, which are normal sports in South Africa. Now have a basketball as well as an option, because after all, it's a fun sport. Now imagine if you can make a living out of it, ensure that you live your professional life and ensure that you support your family. All of those things are very crucial for us, and we believe that you're on the right track. And right now, Basketball Africa League is supporting and showing that it is possible. So we are grateful as basketball custodians, and we wish that it can continue to grow in South Africa from here. I mean, they've shown that they were thirsty and hungry for basketball, having to sold out a stadium, a Sunbet Arena stadium. It shows that we do have capabilities and potential and the market, that's available in South Africa. So we're hoping that this can grow even further and ensure that basketball in the country is well represented, so that we can have future basketball stars who can go participate in the Olympics.
Vincent, I appreciate your time this morning on the Weekend Report. Vincent Ntunja is the assistant coach of the Cape Town Tigers. The team is getting ready to open their account at the Basketball Africa League later on tonight in the Kalahari Conference, facing off with Dynamo BBC of Burundi at 7 p.m. tonight at the Sunbet Arena.